Hey, welcome to this video. Thank you so much for being here with me today. My name is Meg and I'm a resin art business owner. I'm currently taking a little step back from the business selling aspect just because I'm focusing on my acting career. So if you want to buy my discounted supplies that I think could go to better use with you, the link to my Etsy shop will be in the description. Although I'm taking a small step back, I still want to post about resin and my experiences as a business owner. So these are 10 tips to starting out your resin art business. These don't also have to be specific to resin art. You can apply these to any small business. We don't start off with confidence. We start off with faith, action, and confidence. I learned this in acting class. So we have to have faith in ourselves. I can start the business. The action is actually starting the business, and then we build confidence. But we don't go, I have so much confidence and then I'm going to act on it and that will give me faith in myself. It just doesn't work like that. We gain confidence through experience and through actually doing it. Choose 1 to 3 things to start off with. I recommend starting off with keychains and bookmarks because they're small. It don't cost a lot to make. So you just have to buy the bookmark tassels and then the things to actually make the keychains. So the keychain rings, the eye pins, etc. But if you buy too many supplies at once, first of all, you don't want to invest way more money than you're going to make in the beginning. And there's also with resin art a lot of little things to buy. So if you're making necklaces, you need jump rings, necklace chains, bracelets, or certain things. So don't buy so many things that you're overwhelmed. Start off with small items. And my camera just died, so I don't remember where I left off, but basically just choose 1 to 3 small items to start out with and then use the profits from that to buy more materials. Don't go overboard in the beginning because that's what I did and I lost a lot of money that way. 3, don't get an Amazon shipping center worth of shipping materials. Buy a couple bubble mailers here and there. When I first started out, I was shipping things in envelopes just through letter mail, so I would only buy envelopes as I got sales. I didn't have a whole bunch of shipping materials. Buy tissue paper from your local dollar store. Just try to save money in the beginning on shipping supplies because you probably won't be shipping too much out right in the beginning. Tip 4 is so important. Think, would somebody actually buy this? Just because the resin mold exists does not mean you should buy it. I made this mistake so many times. I would make something new and no one would ever buy it, and I was like, now that I think back on it, people probably didn't have much use for it. I just made it because I was feeling creative and I thought it would be cool, but it's not actually functional to buy as a product. If you want to make things for fun, that's totally fine, but just try to think more strategically about like how useful the actual product is. Find a niche style if you can. I never could do this because I love girly things, I love goth things, my spiritual things, my taste is all over the place. If you have a certain style, that will be so much easier to market yourself and kind of find your target audience. I love when I would go on an Instagram page and I'm like, oh, she makes like butterfly themed resin stuff, or she makes really girly resin stuff. You can kind of build your audience better if you have a niche, which is something I was never good at. And like I said, that can apply to so many small businesses like jewelry, clothing, whatever it is. Post a lot on social media because then brands send you stuff for free to try, and this will save you a lot of money on supplies. Like I said, this can apply to different businesses, but I had lots of resin brands reach out to me. Brands reach out to try their colored pigments, and I got lots of supplies for free that way, which cuts down the cost of the materials to make something, and you're making way more profit that way. You also don't have to have these crazy cinematic videos. An iPhone can shoot really good videos nowadays, and just be very consistent with it. People like demolding videos with resin, process videos, talk about your inspiration, just brainstorm a bunch of content and get it out there. So this is kind of a bonus tip to the social media thing. If you don't like sitting in front of a camera, I know that's not everyone's thing. You can do voiceovers, you can do text on the videos instead of talking and being in the video. You can find ways around doing what's comfortable for you. The thing people can sense is inauthenticity, if that's a word. People can tell when you're not being authentic. I know for me, I want so badly to be one of those aesthetic girlies that posts like her day in the life and there's the gorgeous like coffee pouring shot and her putting the gym clothes on the bed, you know what I'm talking about? And have tried to film them, and every time I try to do it, it looks horrible and I want to cry. So I know that's not my thing, but I love sitting in front of the camera and connecting really personally to people. So you don't have to push yourself too hard out of your comfort zone, but you may have to a little bit. Just find what works for you and use that to your advantage. Look at ourselves and think, well, I'm not like this Etsy seller and I'm not like this content creator, but it's like, of course you're not like them because you aren't them, and our uniqueness is what we can use to our advantage. This tip is just my personal opinion, but I don't feel like you need high production value Etsy photos. I literally just took all of my Etsy photos with a white sheet of paper as my background, and if if I wanted to kind of spice it up, I would show how the product would look if the person bought it, which is important because people want to see what it's going to look like in their home. So if I was selling coasters, I would make sure to take pictures of glasses on coasters just to show them what it would look like in their home. But I don't think you need high production Etsy photos in order to sell, because I sold very well and I didn't have crazy good photos. However, if photography is your thing and maybe making videos isn't, then you can focus on photography. Think, what am I good at? I really like talking about vulnerability and art in front of the camera, so I kind of used that to my advantage and would make resin art videos while talking about something I was reflecting on at the time. So that was kind of like my way of connecting to my audience. Figure out how you want to connect to your audience. I also would recommend Etsy because it's a marketplace. It's so much easier to be seen on Etsy than having your own website. When I had my own website, I got maybe 3 sales, and when I went back to Etsy, my sales went back up. So please make sure you calculate the cost of your materials, and I mean the shipping materials, the keychain rings, the time it took you to make it. I have a whole video I will link in the eye, whichever side the eye is on. I will link that video talking about the cost of materials as well as your time. Get paid for your time. I know with resin art, we typically have to price things a little higher to actually make profit. Please don't undersell yourself. Maybe in the beginning, price a little bit lower, but make sure that you're getting paid for your worth as an artist. When people are buying from an Etsy shop, they have to remember, and they do most of the time remember, that these are handmade items. These aren't mass-produced things. These take time, and you have to price them according to that. What I would recommend is having a set schedule. So like Mondays are my pouring days. Wednesdays are my like putting the keychains, necklaces, bookmarks together days. Fridays are my shipment days. I know that that can't always happen. Sometimes you have to do things a little quicker, and certain projects take different amounts of time with resin, but if you have a set schedule, you're way more likely to stick to it. I have this with my content now. I plan what every day is going to be. Give myself days off, of course. I just think that if you just have a business and you keep seeing orders come in, it can be really overwhelming. If you're at the point where you're getting a lot of orders, you can say, okay, every 2 days in the morning I pour, in the afternoon I work on packaging the materials. Have some sort of schedule to keep yourself organized. You can also do that with your content creation as well. My last tip for you guys is please do not go on social media and complain about lack of sales or lack of followers. It's so icky. I hate it. Every time I see it, I make a mental note that I'm never going to be buying from that person, because it's not fun. And I know it sucks. Trust me. I have been there when the business is first starting. It's hard, and I'm not denying your feelings, but just don't put it on the internet. All right, those are my tips for getting started with a resin Etsy business or a resin business in general. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to see more content like this, please subscribe. I make art, small business, and wellness content, because if we don't take care of ourselves, our artist selves cannot thrive. If that interests you, please stick around and give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Thank you for being here with me today, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!